If you met your 30-year-old self on the street tomorrow, what are the 3 practical tips that you would give yourself? Never mind all the philosophy. What are the 3 practical things that you would say to your 30-year-old self that your 60, 70, 80-year-old self would be grateful for? Imagine if when we're 30, we actually get into the habit of thinking, will my 50-year-old self or 60-year-old self or older appreciate what I'm doing right now? Now, we're not talking about when we're kind of in our wild years, are we, as teens and early 20s? It's not as if we're necessarily going to be doing things that harm us, but it's really useful to think about what would be useful later on. So I'm going to just apologise if I'm swaying about a little bit. I've got this new gadget which I'm trying out, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this. So this is something that I can take for walks and and show you the countryside a little bit more and give you a little bit more variety when I'm chatting to you. Just showing the mess on my windowsill. Yeah, I haven't quite got the hang of it yet, so apologise for that. Anyway, the three things, practical things that I would tell my 30-year-old self. Number 1, I would say get outside more. I've always been a little bit of a homebody, a little bit of a somebody who likes to nest and read and cuddle up on the sofa rather than getting outside. And I would say get that sunlight into your eyes more. That's a practical thing that you can do to help your state of mind and to actually get yourself out and exercising. Movement is so important, isn't it, at all stages in our lives? But believe me, when you start going through perimenopause, you will be grateful to the work that you put in when you're in your 30s, the groundwork that you lay. And then when you get into your 50s, 60s, 70s, you're going to thank yourself even more because you're setting yourself up for an active older age. And that's what we all want for ourselves, isn't it? So tip number 2, practical thing that I would say is stretch more. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Move your body every day, every which way. So stretch up, reach down, move around, make sure that all your joints go through their full range of motion every single day. Because the moment that you stop doing that is the moment that when you get older, you start to stiffen up. And it's the stiffness that I think a lot of us really struggle with. There's still things we can do even now. We can stretch now. But if you can lay that groundwork in your 30s, if you're watching this and you still have the chance to do that, that's what I would say to you, stretch. And the 3rd practical thing that I would say to my 30-year-old self is invest. Invest in yourself, in your education, constantly be learning new things and working out things that you can do to help yourself to get where you want to be in life, but also invest your money. If you have anything left over at the end of the month, it doesn't have to be a lot, but start investing it, make it a priority, because putting things off until you have some money is not a good idea. And I know this from experience. So I'm facing my 60s now with very little investment. So I'm going to be working for a long, long time to come. And that's not a bad thing to continue working into your 60s. I'm not saying that it is, but it's nice to have the choice. So anything that you get, whether it, just a few pounds here and there, keep chucking it in there into that savings pot, into the investments, maybe a tax-free investment if you have one in your country, so that can start to grow and compound over time and give you a little bit of choice as you get older. So I would love to know, what are your 3 practical things, or even 1 practical things that you wish you could tell your 30-year-old self so that you are happier and healthier now? Whether that's healthy in body and mind, or healthy in your bank account, or just generally making life a little bit easier. I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who's been following and subscribing to this channel. It's really lifted me up. The comments and the conversations that we're having in the comments have really cheered me up no end. So thank you for that. And just do me a favour if you can. Only, I think it's 11% of people who watch this channel are subscribed. If you just hit that subscribe button for me, it tells the YouTube algorithm that you're interested in what I have to say. And then it will show more people who might be interested in what I have to say. You can unsubscribe at any time. It doesn't cost anything. It's something that we forget to do, isn't it? But it's a really, really useful thing for people like me who are trying to make their way on YouTube to help us grow. And the more we grow, the more people we can reach and the more interesting conversations we can have. So I'd really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please smash that subscribe button. And I look forward to hearing your comments. Also, just a quick addendum, if you will. Do feel free to tell me if there's anyone that you would like me to interview for the podcast. I've got a few podcast interviews coming up, and I'll see if I can make that happen for you. And also, if you have any subjects that you'd like me to cover, I do read all the comments and I have made videos based on those comments. And if you want me to give you a shout out, that would be great. Take part, be part of this growing channel, and let's just all lift each other up, because together, you know what we say, together we're stronger. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.